Hello.
Hello.
Oh, wait. Do I have to go this way? Oh, I have to do this vertically, don't I? Okay. Hold on.
I'm Jess Kenyon, and this is The Dresser. Today on the show, we have Emily Rohm. She's so fancy.
No.
Yeah. So
You're right. I'm the fanciest.
That's right. I really like that pillow behind you.
Oh, thanks. It's very soft.
Beautiful. Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. How are you?
You know what? I'm pretty good, all things considered. I'm at home, as everyone is. I have a lovely apartment and a cute boyfriend that I'm quarantining with and a very cute dog. So, what can I say? There's a beach in my backyard.
Yeah, I saw that picture yesterday of you in the water.
Yeah, the benefits of having a private beach in my building, since all the beaches are technically closed, but I can just go to the backyard.
Yeah, that's fancy as fuck.
Yeah, so I honestly, I'm having the time of my life. I hate the reason behind it, and I'm not trying to negate anyone's struggle through this, because I've certainly had my own, and I struggle through life mostly anyway. but as an introvert, this time not having to go anywhere has been kind of lovely.
Yeah, my best friend Casey is also an introvert, and I think she's psyched.
Yeah.
Stay home and do whatever you want.
Uh-huh.
Not be forced.
Order things online like I've been doing my whole life.
Yep.
I was already stocked up on toilet paper, so
Good.
Yeah. I mean, there's the constant stress of like, will our profession ever come back, and what is my purpose in life right now? But
I mean,
is
it really like that much different?
Honestly, even if this pandemic hadn't happened, I'd probably still be unemployed and being like, what do I do next? So
Right.
It's now I at least have an excuse to not know.
Totally. And I think, at least most places will come back.
Yes, we just have to be patient and do it right, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
However that is.
However they tell us.
Yes.
What kind of bubbly do you have today?
Ooh, this is a new one for me. It's mango.
Oh, I have a strawberry.
Nice. Wasn't I the one who introduced you to cherry bubbly?
You were, by telling me that it tastes like the idea of a Dr. Pepper.
The ghost of a Dr. Pepper, yes.
And that sold me right there.
It's still my favorite, but the mango is my current,
It's your current love affair?
Yeah, it's my side piece.
Yeah. I go, I have like a rotating group of callers, if you will. And
oh, yeah.
I entertain them now and then, but Cherry, I go back to Cherry.
Yep.
She's the shit. Well, the first play that we did together was Beauty and the Beast. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is.
Yeah, that was, I think, the first time I worked at Chicago Shakespeare, so it must
that
have
would
been.
make sense.
Yeah.
You were lovely. Everybody in the show was amazing. It was a super fun cast.
One of the best summers of my life. When someone asks me, like, what's the best time you ever had? I think back to that summer, and that's high ranking.
It was probably one of the worst summers I've ever had.
I'm so sorry.
We just did not have enough people running that show.
Oh, you worked so hard.
Easily the hardest show I've ever run in my entire life. And sometimes they were like, well, maybe we'll bring back Beauty and the Beast. And I'm like, fuck no. Or hire someone else. You have got to hire someone else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I didn't see your struggles because I was usually on stage, as Belle. Like, I had one break during the Gaston song. I was the only time I got to really sit for a second. So I didn't, but I would hear you, like, literally running from side to side and, like, see you whoosh past with baskets and stuff. But, that cast was so fun.
So fun. And it was a beautiful show. And I want to say that was the first time I worked with Rachel.
Okay. yeah, I mean,
I don't know if that's true, but it was one of the first, if not the first time I worked with her. And she was the only director. She did two things that have never happened to me before or since. We were going to do some costume change, and we were like, and we were in tech and we were talking about like, how can we rig it? How can we do this and this? And Rachel was just like, what's the problem? And we were like, what? And I said, well, I don't think we're going to make it. And she's like, oh, well, we'll just move it over here. Is that better? And I was like, yes, that's way better. Thank you. Which seems so easy, but it's not. It's not a thing that directors are ever like, oh, we'll just move the costume change. And it was just like so effortless, so easy for her to just be like, yeah, duh, we'll do that. I'll just change the staging. Hold on. You go here, you go here. Okay, it's fixed.
Yeah, she was one of the few that had the ability to just see every piece of the puzzle and just think about like, well, what does the lighting have to do here? And what is the traffic pattern backstage? And who needs to get a drink of water here? And I mean, and of course she pushed us all to the limits and like made her vision work. Like and then if it didn't, then she would be like, okay, well that didn't work. But yeah,
which
not everyone can do that.
An amazing thing to just be like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Let me do something else. I remember Laura Savage doing like walkovers in center stage in a giant napkin skirt.
Yep. The can napkin skirts that were so much fabric.
So much fabric, so heavy, so sweaty, and had to be tracked around the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's like, Laura's practicing with this skirt for like the first time in tech, and Rachel's like, I'm so sorry I asked you to do this, but it looks awesome.
Yep. Well, she would always, that was her thing, would be like, I know you can do it. Even though if she might walk away and be like, geez, I hope she can do it. But to your face, she would be like, you're fine. You can totally do this.
You got it.
Yeah.
Amazing woman. So we did Beauty and the Beast. The costumes were great. Your dress was beautiful. Your yellow dress.
Yeah, that yellow dress that ranks up there in one of my favorite pieces. And I still tell the story. I know you know what I'm talking about, and it's not your fault because you were the most amazing dresser. Oh my God, you got me changed from the regular Belle costume to the full shoe change, yellow dress, tiara, gloves, wig change in, I think it was, what was it, 27 seconds, 37 seconds? I don't know.
It was nuts.
It was nuts, and we nailed it every time. Well, you nailed it every time while I stood there. And but I think one time, I don't know, I think I was just like, something's weird. I think it was like actually like a hook that was loose on the petticoat. And I remember there's this big moment where the curtain opens just enough for me to walk through, and it's like the yellow dress moment. All the kids are like, oh yay. And I walk down and I just feel the under part, there's like the pannier on top and then the big part of the yellow skirt underneath. And I just feel it pop open and start to slide down my hips as I walk down. And I remember right at the end, there's supposed to be the start of the waltz. And I whispered to Travis Taylor, bless him, don't spin me, because I knew I couldn't move much. And he's like, huh? And just went with it because he had those prosthetics. He couldn't hear me. And my skirt just down to my ankles, right in the middle of the big romantic moment. And no one had hands. Like Lumiere couldn't pick anything up or hook me. I think Emily Lynn as Babette had to run onto the stage and gather my skirt and leave just so they could step out of it.
Because when I put that underskirt on, I was like, this isn't right, but I can't do anything.
Yeah, we all knew something was wrong, but like we had no time, and I think everything was hooked, but I think a hook was like the threads came loose. Yeah. And it just popped. And
after that, I added a giant Whopper popper right behind it.
I'm sure, because you were like, that's not happening again.
Yeah, and I'll never, ever do an without a hook and a snap ever again.
It's one of my favorite
And
stories.
now I would just
so.
if I had to go back in time, I would just be like, just go without it. Just go without it. It's fine. You're still dressed.
Yeah.
Won't be as but
but no, I think we all knew it was all on me, but just something I could tell it was just a little bit looser or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it was really early too. I think it was like first or second preview.
It was a preview, yeah.
It wasn't opening.
Yes. And it wasn't even a big deal though too. I think it was just like a little giggle. Audiences love stuff like that when they get to see the things that happen, that they get to go home and tell the story. I know my parents do. My parents love coming to a show where something goes wrong.
Yeah, right. We've had so few of them. And I mean, that wasn't really like, sometimes the stage gets stuck like doing something and you have to like actually stop the show. Thankfully, somebody picked up your petticoat and walked it off stage, and that was the end of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was like so smooth. In my head, it was like crazy because I just, when everything moves in slow motion when something's going differently than planned. Well, honestly, it was cute. It was funny, and we moved on, and it was amazing. And yeah,
I feel like I watched through the curtain there because we did that change in the light lock, and you just like it fell from underneath your dress, and you just like stepped out of it. You just took like one step. Somebody took it away, and then it was dancing, and I was like, damn it, Emily, you badass.
Oh, it was funny though. It was funny. I still blame Travis for spinning me too fast.
Oh, that's a way better person. Obviously.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you at all. You did absolutely nothing. You were on it. You hadn't changed every night, and it was magic somehow. I don't know. I still look back and think 27 seconds for wig, gloves, tiara. And we still had time to joke most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not fun. No. What, Emily, is some makeups that you absolutely love to take with you?
I have to admit, like, I'm not a makeup connoisseur. Like, I don't.
You have nice brushes.
I do. I love my brushes. I have these, like, they're the ones that look like a toothbrush.
Yeah.
Very soft and shiny. But I have to say the one thing that I can't do without is some sort of mineral powder, because I hate foundation. I just, even in shows, I rarely wear foundation. I just, there's not even a particular brand. Like Bare Minerals, I have a supply of Mary Kay just because I used to sell it for the discount.
Yep.
And although I'm very into Korean skincare right now, so there's like this, I think it's a Korean brand called Focallure, something like that, that really, I should have some on right now because I'm so shiny and sweaty. But yeah, I just, putting foundation on and then sweating in a show just feels gross to me. So.
And also, as someone who has to then clean the foundation off of costumes, very thankful.
Yeah. So
wet it right off.
I don't like any sort of like liquid on my face. Although doing Jane Doe in Cyclone, I had to get used to that. But yeah, normally if I can get away with just like putting powder on, little powder blush, mascara.
Done.
Yeah.
Is there like a dressing room something that you have to have with you that makes you feel happy and cozy?
I would. It's candy.
Yeah.
Kind of candy. I mean, my current favorite for my last two shows have been the sour, chewy sweet tarts. They're like the quarter-size sweet tarts that are like super sour and kind of are like gum at first. Ugh.
I remember them from being a kid, and somebody was eating them on TV the other day, and Trey and I were like, oh my God, remember those? They were so delicious.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think they made them anymore, but I found that they sell them by the large bag on Amazon, and I had to stock up, of course. And I always have a bag of candy in my dressing room. It's usually something sour, sugary, like sour gummy worms, or I think during Beauty and the Beast, I think I had a 2-pound bag of sour gummy worms that I would share, of course, but
Of course.
Oh, and I also, I grabbed this before I sat down. It was actually a gift from Bree Sudia. This is my other new favorite thing. She sent it to me during a show when I was doing Cyclone in Seattle. It's called Mega Babe, and it's
Is it
thigh
for
rescue
thighs?
it's thigh rescue anti-chafe stick, and I put it under my boobs and I put it on my thighs and really anywhere where I like you might like get chafy and weird, and it's like kind of acts like a deodorant almost too. I don't know. It's new to me and it smells really good. And so thanks, Bree Sudia.
Thank you, Bree Sudia. What a
Yeah, she's the
gem.
best. Yeah.
Oh, love her to death.
Yep.
So you picked Ride the Cyclone as your favorite aesthetic,
I did.
which was
Yeah.
designed by Theresa Ham. Did she also design Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she also designed Mary Poppins.
Yep. Yeah, I've Theresa
Theresa Ham, Rachel Rockwell trifecta today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've worked so many times with the three of them together. I'm so sad Rachel's gone, of course, because I think it was just like such a great team. But Theresa is still out there rocking it, and she's designed so many things for me. I don't know. I always feel like when I'm in a show that she's designing, she finds a way to make me something from scratch, and it always makes me feel special. Thanks, Theresa. But yeah, she designed Ride the Cyclone. And it's funny that I picked that as my favorite costume because my costume was the same as everyone else's. We were playing, school kids in a Catholic uniform, but it was comfy, it was fun, and like the whole aesthetic is my dream. Just like dark carnival, scary, silly. And I think it was my favorite too because of the makeup design as well, and the hair. Thanks, Melissa Veal, Malou. Yay, shout out. But yeah, and I think the topper is the contacts that I had to wear, which I had to get used to, because I was, for anyone who doesn't know, Ride the Cyclone, I was playing a mystery high schooler who got her head chopped off in a roller coaster accident. So when she appears, she wears the head of a doll so that she can speak and have movement. So I had this white makeup on, little curly blonde wig that was so cute, and then these huge contacts that were about the size of a quarter that covered up even the whites of my eyes. And I think the first time I put one in, it took me about a half an hour just to get one of them in because I don't wear contacts in real life. So I had to look up YouTube tutorials to figure out how to put them in. And I figured out I had to pull my top eyelid and stuff it up that way. And then, but they were custom. Chicago Shakespeare paid to have them custom made for my eyeball shape. I had my eyeballs measured, which is something I'd never had to do before. And they were my prescription because I wear glasses and normally for distance. So I had to practice not moving my eyeballs back and forth a lot because they would move around in my head. But that was my favorite costume. It was just so badass with like the black eyes and the scary ghost face. And then it got upgraded as well when we moved on, when we kind of took it on our little tour of cities. When we got to New York off Broadway, I had to fly at some point. So my jumper got upgraded to have places where a harness could go for flying. And I had a separate jumper made by Theresa that when I went upside down, it wouldn't fall. The skirt would just stand straight up. So every pleat of the jumper had boning in it. Yeah, so I could go upside down and the dress would not move. And I think that's what people were most impressed by. Everyone afterwards would be like, how did your dress not move when you were upside down? It was so cool. And I don't know how because you could not tell when I was standing up that it was fully boned.
So cool.
Yeah. So if you see, I know there's a couple, maybe, I don't know if there's any video of me flying out there, but yeah, when I go upside down, I can send you a little clip.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I actually went, because I was like looking for pictures for this, and I went back and found that performance you did on that morning show, like Rise Up, Seattle.
Oh, yes. Nothing like singing high D's at 6 a.m.
I mean, first of all, fuck. But also I just thought, like, what a bizarro thing to sing on at all in a morning talk show with almost no context.
Yes.
Like, and now we have Emily Rohm singing a song about these children who died in a carnival accident, and it's a play. Here we go.
Yeah, that was so weird. I sat down for the interview afterwards, and I had to be like, so that song, I know there was some weird lyrics because, you know, I sing about not having a soul and being left without friends and family and all my friends dying and not having a head. And there's these people in the audience at 6 or 7 in the morning, like, that was funny, but did you listen to the lyrics? That was kind of weird, right?
Yeah, they had like tables on the stage, basically.
Yeah.
And so you could watch people watching you, and there's like a guy who's like,
I have to go back and watch that because I didn't notice, but I don't doubt it.
like, yeah, okay.
Yep. And it's weird singing it not in costume because when I'm dressed as a high schooler in a, you know, a Catholic school uniform with a doll's head on, yeah, ooh, cool, dark and scary lyrics, but but yeah, it was weird.
But when you're wearing tan wedge espadrilles, it's a different story.
Yep.
But they were cute.
Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, I liked them. That show was amazing to run. Honestly, if I could run a show again, I would do that one again in a heartbeat.
Oh, we still talk about how amazing you were during that show. We just had you and then Sammy doing some things as ASM, right? Yeah, he was back there.
He was back there for a bit, and then he would like leave.
Yeah, he mostly had to do the curtain because we didn't have the automated curtain, and it was all hand curtain with little marks as to how far the curtain has to be. I just think back and the feats that you guys achieved backstage while we were on stage is amazing. I remember at one point you like would toss me a powder puff to dry off in the 2 seconds I had backstage while you were like catching a recorder that Lillian would throw at you, and then you would like catch costumes in a basket, and then like the choreography that you were doing backstage was incredible, and I think people should know what a fucking amazing job that you did on that show. I mean, all shows, everyone talks about how fantastic you are, but yeah, we still talk about it. Every crew that we've had since then has been a larger crew, and we still are like, well, we had Jess Kenyon who was the only dresser, so like, you know, she was fine. Sorry about it. And we've had all of our other crews have been amazing too, but they've gotten bigger over the years.
Yep. Yeah, it was that. I think they are the most fun when they are like super choreographed like that. Especially like music really helps, and you're like, okay, and 1 and 2 and pick up the basket and hand off the powder puff, pick up the clothes and now we're done. And here is your water, and you know, so it's great to be able to be like, and now I cannot be on stage anymore behind a curtain.
Oh yeah, there were some times when you'd have to be like, okay, curtain's gonna open and
jump. It was fun.
Oh, it was fun though. Ugh.
And that was a great cast. So nice. Such a like tight, 5 or 6 or whatever. I mean, so great.
Yeah, if you count Carl. Sorry, Carl.
Very upset if we did not count him.
I almost don't count him because he was so good at being a robot in a box that I forget he's real. That's the only reason, Carl.
That mask that Malou made him that was like wooden. I have a picture of him because he had to go out there like at half hour.
Mm-hmm.
He had to be there from the top of the show, and then he just had to like sit still.
Yeah. While the audience was coming in and sitting down, he was in that box just listening to the same pre-show music over and over again. To this day, I think if he hears one of the songs on the pre-show list, he like twitches a little bit.
I believe it. But I have like a picture of him, and it's right before half hour, and he's like in his costume, and he's sad that he doesn't get to hang out with us. He's like, moping on the floor. I'll see if I can find
Places for Carl, places for Carl.
Like, was great.
Get in your box, Carl.
I also have a recording of Bottoms and Tops.
Bottoms and tops. Bottoms and tops and bottoms and tops.
I don't know how naked people are. They might be, it's probably too naked to put it in.
I mean, I have no shame, but check with anyone else if you want to do
whoever else is actually naked.
That's it. Bottoms and tops worse. I think, I don't know who's in bottoms and who's in tops in that particular video, but that was a fun game.
I think Jackson is in bottoms, and
it's funny because I have a picture of Jackson just in tops where he's holding a t-shirt down. So
could have been. I don't know. I'll have to look at the video of that particular day.
Yep.
Good times. Well, the show that I picked is Mary Poppins, which I didn't get to see, but all the costumes are beautiful in the show.
Another Theresa Ham.
Theresa, well done. I think it has to be really hard too to design something that people already know.
Yeah, something that's so iconic.
This idea of like, this is her coat, this is what she wears in the park. I don't fucking know the songs. The song with the penguins in the park. I don't.
Jolly Holiday.
There it is. But I thought they were so great and so well done. In Jolly Holiday, it's like a white dress and she wears like a red underbust corset, but it has all these little flower details and the corset has little texture to it. It's really pretty. The costume.
Yeah, she has a lovely way of like making it what you want to see on stage, one like what you know from the movie or the cartoons and everything, but like makes it beautiful in her own way as well. It's really cool.
Absolutely. I think she did the same thing with all the Beauty and the Beast costumes. I thought that Belle dress was like prettier than Belle's dress in the movie. Okay, Theresa.
Okay, sorry about it.
But I love that red coat. Was it wool?
Yes, it was. I mean, it was a lightweight wool, but I mean, I was wearing, at one point I had on tights, underwear, bloomers, mini corset, full dress with a wool skirt, and then the wool coat on top of it. Oh, and a harness. Because I had to I wore the harness the whole show because there was no time for me to change. Yeah. At one point, I think in tech, I was in that harness for 12 hours.
Oh, no.
It wasn't the steel harness that I had to wear in Cyclone, which was literally made of steel, and it was like 20 pounds. But this harness was like one of the soft ones. But still, it was easier to just leave it on than to take all my clothes off and take that off, take my 10-minute break, and then put it all back on, because then I wouldn't have any break. But yeah, so that coat was specially made to go over my harness as well, because I had to fly in the red coat both times. I flew in the show 3 times, I think, and 2 of them were in that coat. So there were slits in the side that were hidden that the like carabiners could come out of to hook me up on both sides. It was made of wool. It was a beautiful fabric. I think every scene was, of course, Theresa Ham loves piping, every scene with covered piping. So there was like black piping and the black contrast collar and the black contrast on the pockets and on the cuffs. It was impeccably made. It like cut for me perfectly, and it fit right over the harness. And I don't even normally wear red. It's not a color that I would wear in real life. It's the one color that I don't have any of in my closet. But when I put that red coat on, I felt like Mary Poppins. My shoulders went back. I felt proper and powerful, and yeah, it was beautiful.
That's awesome. I had no idea that harness was under there, because you can't see it at all, and the coat doesn't look bulky on you.
Yeah, it was a beautiful fabric because it was just like a really nice draping lightweight wool. So but it had enough structure that it could hide, because it was very fitted to the waist and then had kind of an A-line, like almost floor length. Yeah. hemmed just enough to see the shoes, of course.
Yes.
But yeah, it was beautiful. Oh, sorry, I'm petting Marty McFly here, who's visiting me.
Hi, Marty McFly.
Marty McFly.
Oh, hi, puppy.
Yeah. So he wanted to be on the.
You wanted to be in. That's
camera.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't play right now, buddy.
5 minutes.
But yeah. Oh yeah, that coat, and I think that coat's been rented a few times too for other versions of Mary Poppins throughout the Midwest, because it's so lovely, and it's got the harness, ability, and so she's a genius.
Totally. Did you have a parrot umbrella?
I did, and in fact, I have the one from the show that I took home with me. I have 2 of them, because I have the one from the show that was ordered for me, and then I have a mini one they sold versions of them in the lobby, and I was gifted one on closing. So I have my little one that I can fit in my backpack, and then I have my my show one,
the big one. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite items that I've lifted from a show. Not that I ever do that. Hardly ever.
No.
No, never. Thanks, Raider. Thanks for your gift.
Yes, that you didn't know you gave me until now.
Yes.
The other thing I thought we might have a little fun talking about was the time that you went on as Nell Gwyn.
Oh yeah.
In Nell Gwyn.
Oh man,
that was a day. It was great, but that was the only time we ever, like 2 or 3 days before, the week before or something, we had a full dress understudy rehearsal for you.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
I've never done before and never done since then. I would do it, totally. But it was just so many costume changes for you.
Yeah, I mean, it was like kind of felt like going on for Hamlet.
Totally.
Like, I mean, the material isn't quite as dense, but it was like, it was a lot. There were songs. There was a song in French. There was, there's verse, there's prose, there's comedy, there's timing. There's entrances and exits throughout, including the aisles. There's a costume change every scene, because that show was so much about costumes, because she was moving up from being poor to being royalty, basically. So every scene she had an upgrade. And oh man, those costumes were beautiful, and thank goodness we had that rehearsal, because I didn't get a put in, but I had the benefit of being the dance captain, which I rarely am, because I am not a good dance captain. I mean, but being in a company of Shakespearean actors and being one of the few music theater actors in the bunch, they were like, "Oh, Emily can do it," and I think I did a good job. I mean, I certainly worked hard, but so luckily I knew where everyone's entrances and exits were, including the role that I covered. So, because that morning I found out, they were like, "You're going on today for both shows." So I just had to show up and do it, and we did it.
We did it.
One of my favorite pictures of us together is from that morning when we were trying on my costume, I think, and you're just like peeking out from behind, being like, "I don't want to be in this picture, but you're making me, but you're so cute." Yeah, it was and thank goodness for you, because I think you'd be like, "Okay, you're putting this on now, and then you're entering over here," because when you're going on with such a big role, your mind kind of
course,
sparks of like, "I think I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go on autopilot."
Mm-hmm.
But it was so much fun, and that was a fantastic day. So thank you for making it easier for me.
Oh yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah,
we figured she was going to go out at some point because she was pregnant.
Yeah, well, and by then it had been announced, right? Maybe not.
I don't think so.
I don't know. But I don't know. Our stage manager, shout out to Deb, I think she had a clue that maybe I might be going on, and that did she instigate that rehearsal maybe? I think so.
We had talked about it. She's like, "How complicated is it?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And she was like, we should do it. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, there were quick changes in the entryways in the hall, in the lobby, like in the little light lock. So there was just so much to do.
Yeah, anytime you have to change someone in those like light lock areas, it's got to be super fast, and also it's this big.
Yeah.
And is somebody gonna come through the door?
Right.
Yeah,
Could be.
it has happened.
It's happened.
It doesn't happen very frequently, thank God, for front of house, but sometimes
Yes.
people are faster than front of houses, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
what are you gonna do? Yeah. I don't think that anybody knew. I knew, thankfully, on the first day, she was like, I'm pregnant. I haven't told anyone. Don't tell anyone.
Dressers know all the secrets.
Well, I'm so glad. Please tell your dresser if you are pregnant. Please do that. It's really helpful information. When Megan, what is Megan Brown? Is that her married name?
Yes. Yeah. Megan Long.
We call her Pregan in my house to differentiate her from Megan McGinnis, who was also in a show. And
that's right. Oh, that was during Pride and Prejudice? Yeah.
Sense and Sensibility.
Sense and Sensibility, yeah.
Same thing. Megan Long was pregnant, and so I would say pregnant Megan, and then Trey would be like Pregan. So I could tell stories about the day instead of like, well, Megan McGinnis and whatever. Anyway, she fainted backstage once, just for a second, because she was pregnant, and thank God I knew that, and so I was just standing behind her, and I like tied her apron on or something, and she just like went, and I caught her, and I thought she was joking around, but no, she fainted.
Wow.
And she was fine. She like had a sip of water, and she's like, I'm fine. Obviously, I reported that to the authorities and whatever.
Well, yes.
Still, yeah. It's super good for your dresser to be able to look up.
Yeah. And it was lovely that you knew that, and I think Deb caught on pretty early on too. She has like a sixth sense about those things. And shout out to Scarlett Strawlin, who was lovely, and just wanted privacy and was doing her thing, and she was fabulous through the whole run, but she needed a day. And it was a lot. I can't believe that she went through like the most, like the hardest part of her pregnancy, I think, during that show. But you would never know.
No, nobody had any idea. Sometimes people are like, Jess, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I kind of had to suspect because I watched her so closely because I was covering her, and I was like, like, she disappears a lot and take a lot of naps. But but she was great, and then she came back right after that long weekend and was right back at it,
ready to go.
Yeah, and I was happy to have the one day of being Nell Gwyn.
Yeah,
it was fun.
It was a good show.
Yeah,
fun time. Okay, well, thanks for being on this thing with me, Emily Rohm.
You're welcome. I like I said, as an introvert, I keep to myself a lot, but when you ask me to do something, I can't say no. You good people.
That makes me feel special.
You are special.
Oh, I appreciate it. Are you doing a bunch of like self-tape shit right now? I feel like that's all everyone is doing.
Yeah. In a way, it's great because, I mean, I don't have to go anywhere, and like I mentioned, I don't like going places, but it's exhausting too, just especially when you don't know if the project's going to get canceled. Right now I'm just sending in tapes for shows that hopefully they happen. I don't really know. And I'm also making masks, as I'm a seamstress on the side. So I've been making masks for people and for myself, and still sewing. I still have my Etsy shop, so I'm still sewing rompers for people who are ordering them, and
yes,
doing what I can.
It's getting to be romper season.
Oh yeah, it sure is. I'm sad that we probably won't have a pride parade this year because, man, I love making those rainbow rompers, but But, we'll just have to be proud at home.
That's right. And we can be.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think you're fantastic, and I love you, and you're great, and I'm so nice to see your pretty face and talk to you.
I agree. And it's nice to see your face. Look at those cute blue glasses. Well, I can't wait to hug you someday.
I know. I will be very excited for that day.
Yes, me too.
Until then, be safe. And if you can't be safe, Deb says something.
We got to call Deb.
Deb.
She's
Deb,
always got a thing.
It's a funny thing you say. Have fun, and if you can't be safe, if you can't be good, be safe. That's what she
okay. Well done.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
It's the quarantine brain.
Yes, let's blame it on
I'm forgetting words. I forgot the word drawer today. I'm like, it's in the it's in the drawer.
Called nominal phasia.
Oh, I'm going to forget that.
Yeah, the loss of nouns.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Don't have to remember it. Not important. Okay.
I'll probably remember that, but not remember the word for drawer.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love you, and thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Emily. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.